Oh, hello YouTube. Today on The Naughty Librarian, I'm bringing you a book unhaul. So I went through my shelves again and I pulled out all the books that I had to leave. They just had to leave my shelves. I would say the vast majority of the books I pulled out are books that I've already read and like weren't super into. And I was just keeping for the sake of keeping because I read them. And I was like, you know, like these could leave my shelves for books I like or want to read in the future. And these books just don't need to stay. So the vast majority of them are books I have read, but yeah, they're leaving. Let's go through them. So I'm getting rid of like a bunch of Ransom Break stuff, which is odd because like I loved the Miss Peregrine series, like the original trilogy, dope. Loved it to bits. When he did like the second trilogy, I stopped liking it as much. So there's a Conference of the Birds, Map of Days, and then I just got like Tales of the Peculiar. I think this is just like little like folklore from the world, and then these are two books from like the spin-off trilogy. And I read both of them, didn't like either of them that much. So I was like, why am I keeping them? Like there's a third book in this trilogy and I'm never gonna buy it and read it. Like I don't care. It's unfortunate, but they're going. I'm not into them anymore and they're taking up space on my shelf, but I'm keeping the original trilogy because I very much enjoyed that. Also leaving, I have Incendiary and Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. And this is like book 1 and book 2 of this series. I tried reading book 1, Incendiary. I wanted to like it more than I was actually liking it. I think I DNF'd it like 70% of the way through it. And just, if I DNF'd the first book, I'm not gonna go finish it so I can read the next book. Like that's just not gonna happen. But like, it's kind of like Spanish Inquisition inspired and it's fantasy and like I'm sure it has like cool stuff going on in it. It just wasn't for me. And I like the author in general. This one didn't work. So yeah, Incendiary, Illusionary, these ones are gonna go. The covers are dope though, so it's got that. I'm not gonna read them. Also leaving is The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker. I liked this fine when I read it. It's just not something I need to keep on my shelf. I know there's gonna be more books in this series, but frankly, I'm not really super interested in like continuing on with it. Like this does have some cool bits, but overall, like, I don't know, it's like a 3-star book for me. Like it has its moments where I'm like, that's dope, that's a cool thing. But overall, I was kind of like, about things with it. I just wasn't super into it. So it's gonna move along, but it's not bad, I wouldn't say. I just wasn't super into it. And the same thing goes for Criers War by Nina Varela. I read it back in the day. This cover is gorgeous. I love it. It's kind of like iridescent. Obsessed with the cover. And like the book is fine, it's just I'm not super into it to continue on in the series. It was okay, it was fine. I liked it, I guess. It's just not super into it. And I met the author too. That's always a bummer. But like I always feel guilty when I go to like an author signing and they're like, who should I make it out to? And I don't always know if I want to keep the book. So I just want them to sign it, but I don't have the heart to say that to them because I feel like they're gonna know if I say, oh, no, just sign it. So I always say my name and they always sign it to me. And then I'm like, I never correct the issue. So this is something I need to learn to do and not care so much because I just feel like they're gonna think I'm being mean, but they're not probably. They don't give a shit. It's just my own like anxiety problems I have. But I liked it enough. It's kind of sci-fi fantasy a little bit. It's like a fairy tale if it was sci-fi, if that makes sense. But it's cute, it's cool, it's kind of like sapphic. It was fun. I just not like crazy into it, but it's okay. So let's keep that thread going here with books that are like, they were fine, I'm just not super into them. So I have Kaiki by Vaishnavi Patel, which like it has its moments where it's really cool. Overall, it's very slow. It's kind of based on a character from the Ramayana, which I haven't read, so perhaps I'm not like the best like audience member for this because I don't know the backstory. But just judging on this story by itself, like I get what they're doing and it's fine. I liked it. I wasn't obsessed with it though. So yeah, it's gonna go. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's just like not something I'm obsessed with. I'm also gonna get rid of Going Public by Hudson Lin. And I read this, it's fine. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it's not like, wow, I super enjoyed this. It's fine, it's like an average book, it's like 3 stars. I think they did a good job showing the power imbalance here, because it's a boss and an assistant love story, and they like fully address the power dynamic, which I thought was really good, because those can be sketchy sometimes, and they fully addressed it and pointed out how things could be sketchy. Let's not have it be that. So it had that going for it, and it had some cute moments, but overall I'm just like not super into it, so it's gonna go. Again, let's keep on that same vibe for a while here. Books I read that I'm not like super into. So I have Meet Cute by Helena Hunting. And you know what? It was cute, like the title suggests. This is not something I'm like super into. And it's kind of like this girl who was like a super fan of like this teen show, and like the lead guy was his name named Dax, right? They have a meet cute several times in their lives, and eventually it turns out she's a lawyer now. He needs legal advice. Now they're like fully in each other's lives. Romance blooms from that. So it's cute. It's definitely a cute book, but overall average cute. Like, I don't know. I'm not like super into it, but it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Also leaving my shelves is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marski. I liked it just fine. I didn't love it, essentially. Like, it's cute. It's kind of like Edwardian era wizards, and it's an MM romance, and it has a lot of cool things going on in it. It's just not something I'm obsessed with. Like, I do not see myself continuing on in the series. It's fine though. It's cute. It's got a cute cover. I like the vibes it gave. It's just not, I wasn't obsessed with it. It's like a 3.5 star. It's fine. I'm just not like in love with it. Okay, I'm gonna move into books that I have not read, but I'm still getting rid of before I get into books that I've read that I did not like. I'm gonna save the bad for last. So let's go. I'm getting rid of Witness for the Dead and the Grief of Stones by Catherine Addison. These were both sent to me by the publisher, and I didn't ask for either of them. So they just got it sent to me. But this is like, it's like kind of a duology within the Goblin Emperor series, except the people from Goblin Emperor, they're not following anymore, and I really like that guy. They're following a different guy from that story. He's kind of like a necromancer detective though, so it sounds cool. It's just like, I don't ever see myself reading it, if I'm being honest. Like, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, these are gonna go, but I'm sure they're fine. I don't have any problems with them. It's just, I don't see myself reading them. Also leaving is Make It Sweet by Kristen Callahan. This is a book I think I got like in a subscription box. Like, I didn't go out of my way to get it. I just don't foresee myself reading it necessarily. It's kind of like, it's contemporary romance. There's this Emma lady. She was like on a TV show, and her character gets killed off. She loses her job. She goes home, finds her boyfriend in bed with someone else. So she's like, great, lost my boyfriend too. So she kind of runs away to California, like this rest and relaxation estate. And then she meets like an ex-hockey player named Lucien, and like he's grumpy. It's like that. We've read it like several times before, and I'm like, I don't foresee myself ever reading it. So it's gonna go. I might get rid of Hired by Zoe Castile. Like, this one, I don't know. This is the one I'm still on the fence about, because I did read the first book of the series, Stripped. It was fine. I wasn't super into it. Then I have Hired, and I still haven't read it. It's been out for several years. But basically, it's kind of like basely on like the Magic Mike story. Like, it's kind of like that. They're male strippers. They're trying to make it in the big city or whatever. I don't know. But like, I don't know. I'm like so on the fence about it. I might still read it. I don't know. I'm just like not, I see it on my shelf, and it never like turns into a moment where I feel like I need to read it. You know what I mean? So I think it's just gonna go. I'm also getting rid of this copy of Disorderly Conduct by Tessa Bailey. Not that I dislike Tessa Bailey. I love Tessa Bailey books, and I'm sure this one is fine. It's just like, it's a cop. Like, the main love interest is a police officer, and I'm like, I am not into police officers, because like, for obvious reasons, I have very little reason to put any faith in the police department. So I'm like, do I really want to have a romantic love interest in the police department? And the answer is no. So it just killed my boner, essentially. So that's why I'm getting rid of it. I also might get rid of this copy of Empire of Ivory by Naomi Novik. This is part of the Temeraire series, and I did read the first book of it. I liked it fine. I never really considered, moving forward in the series, but I think I got this at a library book sale for like $1.25, so I was like, okay, I'll just grab it. It's book 4. Mind you, I haven't read book 2 or 3, nor do I own them. Do I plan on getting them anytime soon? Kind of no. So I'm like, it's just taking up space on my shelf, and realistically, I don't know when or if I will ever get to it. All right, the time has come. These are the books I don't like, and I've read and do not like. Let's start here. Ecstasia by Claire Legrand. I hated reading this. Like, I read it. Like, I think I gave it 1.5 stars. It was so bad. Everything about it, it sounded so good. And like, I thought Claire Legrand was gonna be like this author by author for me, because I read like 2 books back to back by them that were incredible. And then the more books I read by Claire Legrand, the less I like any of them. So I think maybe I found the 2 I like and like maybe check them out from the library next time rather than pre-ordering it and paying full price for this book that I hated, which I'm very upset about. It could have been cool. It wasn't. It was bad. I gave it a full ranty review, and one of my like wrap-ups is just, I'm so disappointed in it. It needs to leave. I'm also gonna get rid of The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I know, this is very popular. I read it. I did not like it. I found it incredibly pretentious. Like, it had its moments where I thought it had some really cool stuff. However, while I was reading it, I was rewriting so much of the story in my own head that like, I like the story that I made up, but it's not the story that's in the book. So I have to like separate like my imagination from what's actually on the page. So if I do that and I just judge it by only what's on the page, I don't like it that much. I kind of like how I rewrote it in my head. So yeah, it's going. I did not enjoy, doesn't need to stay on my shelf. Another book that just disappointed the heck out of me was Hide by Kirsten White. I pre-ordered this. I paid full price for this. I read it. It's ended up being a lot shorter than I anticipated it being for a full price book of $27 for like under 300 pages. That's kind of a lot. And yeah, was disappointed. I think I gave it 2 stars in the end because again, it had its moments where it was kind of cool. I liked the ending. The ending was good, but like it was such a hot mess getting there that I was like, oh gosh, like it has cool concept. It has like some cool aspects. Some of the terror was good. The ending was good. Overall, it was a chore to read. I'm not into it. It's gonna go. I'm also gonna get rid of My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. I read this several years ago, and like I loved early Christina Lauren books, and I have all of them on my shelf. Love them. Newer Christina Lauren books, I'm not as into. I wish them all the best. They're authors. They grow and change, and they write different things. That's their prerogative, and they're allowed to do that. I just feel like a lot of their newer books are more written to be commercially available rather than just being smutty to lights like their early stuff were. So this one, again, is one of their commercially acceptable books. It has a very like bland cover, so it's like one of those incognito books, but frankly, it's not even that smutty. Like, it's incognito because it's not that smutty. And also, I didn't like any of the characters in it. I thought it was like, I don't know. It felt like I don't know. They didn't put their best foot forward on this one. I've seen them write better things. And I was like, do I need to have it just because I have other Christina Lauren books? The answer is no. I don't need to keep it just because of that. And last up, I have Gentle Rogue by Joanna Lindsey. And I know Joanna Lindsey is like OG romance. I tried to read this, and this like the visceral hatred I had for it, and I only read like 10 pages, made me just be like, I can't do this to myself. I can't make myself read it. And I know I probably should have given it a better chance than that, but like it was so visceral that I was like immediately angry at these characters. To the point where I was just like, you know, I don't need to do this. It's just gonna go. I don't feel like I'm going to give it a second chance ever. It's just, it needs to leave. So it's going to do that. Oh boy. All right. So that was like an ass ton of books that are leaving my shelves. I'll probably clean it out again because I have to keep doing that. I keep filling them up, darn it. So here we are. Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know. What's a book that you were so hyped for that let you down? What was it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you want cool exclusive content and a book club, you can sign up to be a channel member or a patron. The links for that are in the description down below. And on that note, I will see you guys soon. Bye!